You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
We're back. I was going to do the whole Eminem guess who's back, but the younger listeners would be like, "Who? Like Eminem still makes music because he doesn't really do much." It's been a while. We've both been busy with life and all that kind of stuff. We don't really like, not to use the Bill Belichick Patriots no days off slogan, but we don't really have many days off. You know, this is one of probably the longest stretches of not doing an episode where we've both been healthy. But yeah, had a little catch up, you know. But as always, Charlie, how are you? How you been?
Man, I'm good, bro. Yeah, I was thinking about that actually today. I'm like, the last time I went this far without recording was when I had COVID. And just for the record, so for anyone who wasn't around when I had COVID back in November. And I still have residual COVID effects to this day. Like still, just throw that out there. But now, man, life has happened, and not in a bad way. A lot of good things happened the past couple of days, and I know people were checking for us. And not only were y'all checking for us, we appreciate that you were checking for us. And when you hear this, you're gonna be, oh, the guys are back. So I'm glad we're back. I'm glad y'all are back. And man, we can't thank you enough for coming to check for us. A lot of good things have happened. I don't know how many people know Tony, but it's our anniversary. Nah, I'm just throw that out there. I'm gonna just leave it there. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, man. Again, and you know, business has picked up for myself. So I got a lot of things going on in my life right now, and all good things too. All good things though, man. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast already. What's up, man?
Two things to get this done early. This is not a Jalen Waddle jersey. It's 17, but it's the former wearer of 17. It's a Ryan Tannehill jersey. I thought, you know what? I don't think I've worn it. If I was on a podcast, it was ages ago. Haven't worn it recently. Trying to mix it up. Don't want, you know, to people to think I only have like 3 Dolphins jerseys and the same Dolphins jumper. So
I'm saying you could have got away with that though, Kenny.
Yeah, but you know, but again, okay, I could have got away with it. But then if something happened to Jalen Waddle, you'll look at me saying, why have you got a Waddle jersey? So I'm clarifying, this is not the Kadeem curse. Well, it is the Kadeem curse, but one of the older Kadeem curses. Like, I'm not trying to jinx Jalen Waddle and have everyone in the comments, Kadeem got a Waddle jersey. Charlie didn't call him out. Just to clarify, like, you don't need to come on my dome in the comments. You mentioned Tony. I know you've been busy, and you probably haven't had time to watch or even care about it. But did you watch the verses between Mario and Mario?
Nah, so I was actually working when that versus came out, and I heard about it. And me and LB were talking about who we thought would win before it happened and how we thought it would go. So I heard how it went. I still haven't watched it yet, so I really can't. I don't have too much feedback on it, but I kind of know who won. And I kind of thought that person was going to win anyway. I like,
really,
yeah, for sure.
So going into it, and you know, we've been away for a week. People are thinking, why?
So should we give a spoiler alert though before we start talking about it?
Yeah.
So spoiler alert, we're about to tell you who won the Omarion versus Mario versus. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't think we got the same demographic for that, but we'll save Eric because we don't spoil stuff here on this podcast. So give us like a minute and a half, and check back on us in like a minute and a half. Go ahead, Kadeem.
So I thought a Marvin would win, and I'm an R&B head. Like, when I get practice player of the day, I'm playing both a Marvin and Mario on my playlist. I thought a Marvin would win, like, but he'd win if he could play his B2K stuff. You get B2K and the Marion, I think that'd be too much for Mario.
That's good, because I said the same thing, Kadeem, and I give you that. But I thought, to liken it to an MMA fight, I think Omarion would have more strikes landed, but Mario would have more significant strikes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, his songs are too, even with B2K, Mario's songs are just too.
Mario.
Yo, that's no Mario. So
Mario. Yeah.
I'm saying Mario's songs are bangers.
Yeah.
Omarion songs, there's more with B2K, but I don't think it levels up to it matches up to the level of Mario's songs. Like Let Me Love You, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's when Captain Karaoke comes out and I go to my karaoke, that's one of my go-tos.
I'm not gonna spoil it for you. So I watched it. I've just watched it, and I saw all the memes, and I was like, did Mario, like, people saying Mario won every single round, and I was like, that can't be true. Like, there's no way he wins every single round. But I'm telling you, it's not close. It's not close to the point where, like, this is before he even gets to Let Me Love You. Like, there's not.
So I was look, it's Go Time Dolphins. I was gonna go down a couple lists of songs, and I like, you know what, I'll spare everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Go Time Dolphins. We missed a couple episodes, and people coming back, it's not what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? But like, nah, man, you know what, man, you can get into that a little later if you want. But whatever,
bonus
man.
Time. That's a bonus time.
I was actually about to fix up before you hit me. I was about to hit up a bowl of Captain Crunch. You eat cereal, Kadeem?
I eat cereal at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, what's your favorite cereal?
I don't really have one. Like,
so what's your go-to at 2 o'clock in the morning then?
Normally Rice Krispies. Yeah, we have Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies is like a plain, but I like it. Like,
generic, yeah.
Yeah.
You put sugar in it? You add sugar?
Yeah, have to.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Dang, I miss Rice Krispies. I wouldn't do it, but I miss it. Like,
but we don't get stuff like Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms. Like, Lucky Charms, it gets imported from the US, and we got to pay. So like a box of Rice Krispies will cost like £2. A box of Lucky Charms cost you about £5-6, and it's just like, it's not worth it. So we, our fun stuff would be like Cocoa Pops, Cookie Crisp, like just that kind of stuff.
For the record, Lucky Charms is like my favorite cereal.
I've had it a few times. Like, I quite like it.
And Crunch Berries, Captain Crunch with the berries.
When you make cereal, do you put the milk in first?
Absolutely not, bro. Who does that?
People do. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, no, like you
you're a pour the milk first kind of person, Kadeem.
Not at all.
You
pour the cereal, first, bro. Pour the milk. Like, how you pouring in milk and then you got to try and match the cereal? No. You pour the cereal, pour the milk, let it soak, and
yeah, man. Hey, let's get to football, man. So we back. No more spoilers. Bro, are we on JC Tretter watch? You know, he didn't have to do mini camp. He didn't have to do all the other stuff. And, you know, a lot of people think we're going to end up with JC Tretter. A lot of people think it's already done, but he doesn't want to do all the offseason stuff. And training camp is still a month away. But are we on JC Tretter watch right now?
I want to say no, because it sounds like they are legit going to roll with Connor Williams at center. Like, that honestly seems like the plan. Now, again, that could be the plan right now because JC Tretter didn't want to come to training camp or OTAs. But I think they will look at it and go, what we've worked on so far, We're gonna keep on expanding on that. It's not. It's only OTA. So to bring in JC Tretter and then to move Connor Williams out wouldn't be the end of the world. It's not like it's week 2 and the line has to to try and get together. It's like it's been a few sessions. Yes, it's significant, but not so significant that we can't change it and tear everything up. I wish if they are going to get JC Tretter, they got him in OTAs. That way you can genuinely start working on it during OTAs with everyone in the building. That those extra few weeks, to me, it will make a difference. But no, I don't think we're on JC Tretter watch. I think he's going to roll with Connor Williams.
How you feel about that? Are you comfortable with the line as is now? Like Connor Williams at center, Eichenberg or Austin Jackson at left guard, Eichenberg or Austin Jackson at right guard, right tackle. I'm sorry, and then you got Robert Hunt and Terran Armstead. You think that's the goal? Like you think what? I'm happy with this.
I'm not happy with it. And again, partly because, like, don't get me wrong, Connor Williams has practiced at center with the Dallas Cowboys, so it's not completely alien to him. So I can sleep slightly easier knowing that it's not a brand new position. But when all your snaps in meaningful games, when the lights are on, when all your snaps are there at left guard, I don't see why you'd move him inside. And I'm not a believer in the whole it was always the plan. That can't have been the plan, because if that's the plan, then go and get a center. Like what did you see?
I don't think you could I don't think it's just like that. If that's the plan, then go and get a center. I think no one has Tyreek Hill as plan A. You know what I'm saying? Like no one, that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to adjust. So Tyreek Hill becomes available. We had a plan to go get a center, but do we go get a center and Amari Cooper, or do we go get Tyreek Hill and adjust on the fly at center? That's just an example. You know what I'm saying? So I think you have to be ready to make a couple moves, and then the draft's gonna fall. We talked about the draft. The draft is the draft. You never know how it's gonna fall. I don't love it. I don't love the idea of acquiring Connor Williams, who, don't take this to the bank, has like 1,000 snaps in the NFL, and 850 of them are at guard. That's like there's a statistic out there. His snaps are, and you know what I'm saying? It's something like that. And now those aren't the exact numbers, but in essence, that's what it is. So you're telling me we brought in Terran Armstead, who's not always healthy, and the only other acquisition that we made on the line is a guard that's going to play center. So one injury, and we only got one improvement on the line, technically. You know what I'm saying? So and shout out to my dog Sherrod Steve. He's gonna say, "Well, Charlie, you had Tua taking us so deep in the playoffs. What happened? What changed?" I'd be like, "Yo, I didn't know Terran Armstead was gonna get hurt again, and Connor Williams was gonna play center. I thought we were gonna line them up at guard, Terran Williams at left tackle, and go with Michael Dieter." You know what I'm saying? Now, I would have one hole in the line instead of 2 question marks. You know what I'm saying? And that one hole, I guess it's one hole and a question mark.
Yeah.
I guess that ain't come out right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you do have 2 question marks as opposed to one hole and a question mark. But I don't know, man. I'm not happy with Connor Williams being center. Eichenberg, who was the worst lineman on our line last year, playing left guard or right tackle, and Austin Jackson playing left guard or right tackle. I'm not happy with it. I said this last year. I gotta believe they fixed it. They get it right. I don't know. I don't have trust, bro. I'm not happy with my line right now. And another position that is a strength to us is DB, which is our corners, and we have the best corner tandem in the league for my dollar. We got Byron Jones, who is under appreciated in the Dolphins fan base, and we got Xavier Howard. And everyone says, "Oh, we should trade Byron Jones. We should trade Byron Jones. He doesn't do anything." What Byron Jones doesn't do is get scored on a lot. It doesn't happen. Byron Jones ain't lighting up the scoreboard. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need to appreciate in Byron Jones. Xavier Howard gives up way more yards than Byron Jones does. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Xavier Howard makes all the spectacular plays, but at the same time, Byron Jones is not getting beat. And we need to appreciate that more than what people are trying to throw this man to the wolves. So problem is, Kadeem, that's all we got on outside corner. And then next thing you know, torn hamstring and Noah Igbenogany starting. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm for those who don't know, I work out of state. I live in Miami, Florida. I travel for work. I've seen about 38 different states. It's 50 states in the United States, for those who don't know. Shout out to our international listeners. There's 50 states in the United States. And shout out to the domestic listeners who didn't know there was 50 and thought it was 52. So there's 50 states in the United States, and I've seen 38 of them in my travels for work. And when I drive, Kadeem, it's like a rule of thumb. While I'm driving on road trips, I always gas up when I'm on half a tank. All right. So if I'm on a 16-hour road trip, I'm probably going to have to get gas maybe, I don't know, I'll throw it like 5 times, 6 times, maybe. I don't know. I didn't do the math. But I gas up at halfway. The reason I gas up at halfway, Kadeem, is because you never know what you're about to run into in the road. All right. And if I'm just driving on my 16-hour road trip and I decide to get gas when I'm on empty, you never know what this road trip's going to bring your way. Detours or accidents where there's traffic now. You sit in traffic for 2 hours and you run out of gas because you're sitting in traffic for 2 hours, right? You just never know. So you always, or you get lost. I got lost before on the road. That's a whole nother story. We might go in the bonus time. I'll bring back the story when I got lost with my homeboy in the United States driving. So I always gas up on halfway. You just never know. That's security. And we don't have that security at corner. Everybody like, yo, we got Byron Jones, we got X. That's not deep enough, bro. Like, you need depth in the league. And Nick Needham could come in, play corner. Igbenogany could come in, give you some reps. But you missed 2-3 games with one of these boys, and it's not cool. So we still got some holes. Not saying corner is a hole, but we got some things we need to adjust. There's going to be some pieces moved earlier on in the year with other teams, and I wonder what the Dolphins do. I wonder if the Dolphins look at someone like Josh Jacobs, running back from the Raiders. He's on the trade block officially now. I wonder if they consider, hey, let's get Josh Jacobs on a rental, add him to Mike McDaniel running game, run system. I wonder if the Dolphins are looking like, hey, maybe we do need to bring in J.C. Tretter or trade for Matt Hennessy for the center for the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? So anybody else you like, you know what? We might want to consider them too.
I've seen, so before I get to my pick, seen a lot of Dolphins Twitter say go bring in Ruben Foster. I know he had a workout prior to the draft, I believe. I think people kind of want to see him in the building. He wouldn't be my pick for a number of reasons. I'm not going to get into it again. In terms of holes, I think I guess to stay on the DB bandwagon at safety as well. Because I think behind friend of the podcast, Javon Holland and Brandon Jones, it's not. Again, it's like, would you really want to go 2 or 3 games without either one of them? Now I know we got who's the kid from Oregon who picked up in
undrafted Verone McKinley.
Yeah, maybe he pans out. Maybe he's another one who the Dolphins done well done. The Dolphins brought in another one. He plays meaningful snaps and he's actually good. I think to take it back to the corner conversation quickly, I believe it was the last episode where we did discuss, Noah's work in OTAs and that Tyreek Hill touchdown, and and yeah, we said it then. It's getting Noah to a standard where he's not picked on. To me, is a win. At that point, that's again not to be out of order, but that's where his career is right now. That if he comes in for a game or two, He's not. We can target Noah and pick up 200 yards because it's that easy. So yeah, I think at safety probably a bit light. I think everywhere else we're deep enough that outside the offensive line, everywhere else we're deep enough that if we lose someone, we can keep on going and the drop off isn't that bad.
I think you forgot Eric Rowe, bro. I think we straight at safety.
No, I think Rowe's a funny one because I think Rowe's someone who could get traded. He's on what is it 2.1 million this year?
No, I'm not looking at the numbers. I think he's due 5 million.
Okay,
but here's my thing. I think it's like 4 and some change.
Yeah.
Everybody trying to move on from Eric Rowe, bro. Everybody trying to move. It's hold on, like, bro. This is Dolphin Twitter though. This is Dolphin Twitter, and I'm not coming at you. I'm talking about Dolphin Twitter. Everybody try to move on from Byron Jones. Everybody trying to move on from Eric Rowe. Everybody's trying to move on from friend of the podcast, 40 Acres and a Hellcat, Miles Gaskin. Out of the three, the only one that makes sense or that can make sense to move on from is friend of the podcast, Miles Gaskin, because the running back room is deep. He's due, I think, $2 million this year. I hope he gets his money. If he does get traded, he still gets his money. So hats off to him. I would hate that he came in the league finally about to get paid and then they cut him. You know what I'm saying? I would hate it. So, but yeah, we're just talking business. He's the only one that makes sense where I could see we move on from him or maybe trade him to somewhere. But here's my thing. We needed that. We're not up against the cap right now where we need cap space for next season and we need to bring in someone else immediately. There's not when I want to say immediate need, I'm not talking about a glaring, gaping need. Yeah, we need another linebacker for sure. Yeah, we need O-line for sure. I think we need depth at corner, but there's not the Ryan Tannehill got hurt. We got to bring in Jay Cutler injury on our team right now. So for us to move on from Eric Rowe because he's due money doesn't make sense. It's not like we're clearing cap space for someone.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's not like we have to clear this cap space so we could pay someone this year. I.e. when Jarvis Landry didn't get his money and then Ryan Tannehill got hurt, so he couldn't get his money, and then that $10 million went to Jay Cutler. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's not a example like that on this team this year. So Eric Rowe can play his contract out. We need the depth. He's the tight end specialist, as Javon Holland, friend of the podcast. Javon Holland came on this podcast and said. So I don't see us moving. I don't want to move on from Eric Rowe because then that means we're going to need depth at safety too. And we don't have depth at corner. So now that not have depth at safety, I really would not like moving on from Eric Rowe. What else? Somebody else just added. We just mentioned Eric Rowe, Byron Jones, but you did say Reuben Foster. I could see an addition of Reuben Foster. Football purposes only. I could see the addition. I think it's low risk, big reward, but I'm not banging the table for, let's go get Ruben Foster. He's out there. Y'all, people forget we added Melvin Ingram too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins are at a nice place right now. And you know what? I wanted to start the podcast in a certain way. I'll just say it now, and I'll start it with another episode this way. But the Miami Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl in 2023. I want to make that clear. In 2023, the Miami Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl. It's 2022. They will make a run this year. We're going to make a run, a deep run in the playoffs this year. All right. And whatever happens with it, whatever comes of it, I'm here for it. But in 2023, Charlie Touche said it right here on this podcast. The Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl in 2023. So we have all kind of pieces in place. We have a new system. We're going to mesh really well. And we're just going to see what we get. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Jimmy Garoppolo and Jared Goff in the same system can't be executed better or can execute it better than Tua. Not going to happen, bro. We're going to look real good. Jared Goff made it to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo made it to 2 NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl. Same system. But we're going to be straight, bro. We're going to the Super Bowl. Our time is coming. and it might not be this year, but it's definitely coming real soon. So, as far, yeah, man. But I know we wanted to. You brought up something on the last episode, even though it was a couple days away, and I thought it was a real good idea, bro. Divisions. If the Dolphins were in a different division, what would it look like, Kadeem?
So it's one of those conversations and topics which comes up every few years for a number of reasons. And there's many ways to have the conversation in terms of like, where do you put the Dolphins or any other any other team, I guess, like that. So we spoke about it on the last episode, and part of the reason why the Dolphins should probably change divisions is because the Dolphins are normally in the top 5 in terms of teams that have to travel the most for their games. It's not ideal, but the Dolphins travel a lot based on where they are and the teams in the division, plus other stuff like that. So this season, the Dolphins are tied for the fourth most in the NFL in terms of expected travel. They will travel 2,500. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I say this number 25,178, but I know with Americans you say your thousands quite different. So for me, it's like 1,200 is what, 1,200 for you?
Yeah, but that's right. We say it the same way you said. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So if it was this is not math class, but if it was not 25,178, if it was just 1,700, then we'll just say 1,700.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But go ahead.
So yeah, Dolphin travel 25,178 miles for all 17 games. That's tied fourth, and only the Seahawks, Broncos, and the Jags travel more. And the Jags are playing in London this year. They play every year. So that's part of the reason why the Jags is always up there. The opposite end of that spectrum is the Pittsburgh Steelers travel 6,442 miles and don't even leave the Eastern time zone. So for the Steelers, they're completely fine.
That's wow, bro. And I just put up the divisions while you were talking, and I'm looking at the AFC East and the AFC North. The AFC East, shout out to all of it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond but across the world. Charlie Touche, Kadeem Simmons. Shout out to all the listeners and subscribers who are not even Dolphin fans that rock with us. Salute to y'all. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? We just chop it up here. Y'all mess with us for our content and don't even like the Dolphins, but even a big up to the Dolphin fans. But we rock with y'all too, even though whoever isn't a Dolphin fan, shout out to you. And here's the thing. I'm not just being sour here. There's a legitimate gripe here. Like, the Dolphins play in a division with 3 teams that are in the Northeast. 2 of those 3 teams play in the same state. You got Buffalo and you have the Jets. New York Jets, New York Jets, Buffalo Bills. Then the third team is the New England Patriots. That commute to those 3 teams ain't nothing. They're all in the same region. You get to the bottom of the map in Miami, Florida, and all of us, we got to fly up to all of those to all of those games. Yeah, they got to fly down to us, but I'm not talking about is there a disadvantage. I'm just saying, why are we even in the division in the first place? That being said, to your point, Kadeem, the Steelers, the Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati, bro, me and you can make this road trip in the same day. Like, legitimately, we could bust this triangle down in the same day, and it's not necessarily a triangle, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So they're neighboring states. The cities are not that far apart, and we can actually do it multiple times in the same day, if I'm being honest with you. And then you got the Ravens. They're a little out east, but it's not that far. I think it's Pittsburgh. to Baltimore is maybe 6 hours. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I mean, I could figure that out faster than you can, Kadeem. I said Pittsburgh to Baltimore is about 6 hours. Let's find out. Real time. This does not make for good podcasting. Forgive me, but I'm gonna find out how quick you can get to Pittsburgh from Baltimore.
While you get that up, I'm going to get up something as well, just to kind of, if you're watching on YouTube, just to kind of, put some, make things clearer in terms of what we're saying. I know, again, for a lot of people, it's like, yeah, it makes total sense, but just in case people are like, they want a visual element to this, we're on YouTube, so we might as well give it to them. So this is how the NFL teams are at the moment, and you can see like the top right-hand side, the top right-hand corner, you can literally see the three Dolphins teams basically next to each other in the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, and the New England Patriots. And then right down at the bottom is the Miami Dolphins. And yeah, it makes zero sense whatsoever.
So you said the Dolphins teams. You meant the AFC East, but we'll give Kadeem a pass.
Yeah.
He's from London, y'all. Don't get on my dog. Only I can get on my dog from London. So the Dolphins way down here at the bottom. If you're listening to the audio version, we got a map up of the NFL teams. It says, "Where's your team?" This is shout out to the producer Kadeem Simmons of the podcast putting up this graphic. Dolphins all the way down here at the bottom of the map, Sunshine State. All the way up in the top right, top east is the Jets, the Bills, and the Patriots. And if you look to the left, you got Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and the Bengals, all like on this map, it looks like walking distance. Well, I was just saying, so I did the math. I did the calculations, and if Josh Kasker from the same old Dolphin show was here, he would still ask me if I use MapQuest. So shout out to Josh for pointing that out to me. I use my maps on my iPhone, my 2021 iPhone, Josh Kasker. And it's only 3 hours and 40 minutes via car from Pittsburgh to Baltimore. 3:40. I said 6. It's less than 6. All of those are like, you could take a bus to that if you want. That's a 45-minute flight, Kadeem. 45 minutes. A flight from Miami to New England, like 3 hours. You feel me?
Yeah.
So all right, but go ahead.
So I very quickly changed the graphic. Not like the graphic was pretty much fine, but it was from 2016. Obviously, the Rams and the Raiders have moved. So this is up to date from I think it's January this year. So the thing is, even the movement of the Rams isn't that far from where they were before. It's not ideal, but they haven't moved too far. I don't believe. And same with the Chargers as well.
Say that again.
So obviously, like since that last map we had, the Raiders, Rams, and Chargers had moved. But it looks like they haven't moved much, if at all. Like the Raiders have come down a bit.
Oh, right. All right, my bad. I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
So San Diego is, I don't know, a 2-hour drive to LA, something like that. Vegas is a 4-hour drive, or maybe 3.5-hour drive to LA. All of those right there in the same vicinity. Hold on. So let me go to, and I don't want to get too far. You can keep this up. I don't want to go get too scattered out. I kind of want to keep it to the AFC just for now. So you got Tennessee, Indianapolis, the Texans, and the Jaguars in the AFC South. So I want to be very clear. The Miami Dolphins are in the AFC East. We're in the AFC East. The Colts, the Indianapolis Colts, are in the AFC South. Kadeem. Indianapolis is almost at the top of the country, bro. Somehow it's considered the South. And really, it's not considered the South. And when we talk about the regions of the country in real life, and not just in sports terms, it's really not the South. It's considered the Midwest. Indianapolis is considered the Midwest. Iowa, Missouri, and I know this is outside of your realm, Kadeem, but work with me. Shout out to our international followers. Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, all of that is considered Midwest. All of that. And there's more considered Midwest, but we're only talking about the Colts right now because for some reason they're in the AFC South. With the Titans, that is actually in the South, the Texans, who are actually in the South, and Jacksonville, who are actually in the South. So this is where the Dolphins are supposed to be. We're supposed to be in the South. Okay, like I said, we're not complaining here. We got 2 Super Bowls and an undefeated season. Ain't nobody rapping. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm being real with you, we would have been a problem if we weren't in the same division as the cheaters that are the New England Patriots. I'm just saying. Anyway, now I did it kind of sound sour right there, but just for right there. So you got the AFC West. Let's talk about the AFC West. You got Kansas City, that's in the middle of the map, all the way middle of the map. Kansas City is they play in Missouri, even though there's a state called Kansas, and that's above Oklahoma. This is not a geography class, but I like geography. So Kansas City is in the West. Denver is in the West. You got the Broncos right there, more west on the map in geography sense. Shout out to everybody listening to the audio version. I know you're probably like, yo, why is he talking like that? Because there's a map in front of me right now. That's why. My bad. And then you got Vegas, that's all the way out west. And then you have LA, that's all the way out west. This makes a little bit more sense because they're out in a location sense, they're out west. Kansas City is in the middle of the map, but there's only 16 teams in the AFC. Once upon a time, the Seattle Seahawks were in the AFC. So Seattle was in the AFC West. You see what I'm saying? So all of this kind of makes sense, bro. We're not tripping here. If I'm being real with you, this is like the only team that's out of place is probably, you can make the argument for Kansas City for being not really in the West, but y'all in a different time zone. That's cool. But the Dolphins in the AFC East when we should be in the AFC South, I don't like it, bro. I don't.
So looking, so the conversation was basically where should the Dolphins be, and you don't obviously have to move other teams, and then would they win that division? So we could talk about every other team, all that kind of stuff, but to be honest, this is Go Time Dolphins. We only care about the Dolphins. In this scenario, we're gonna basically realign. We'll realign the NFL, but we're only going to focus on the Dolphins and the division they're in. So, I take it. So, looking at the map.
Hold on, Kadeem, before you go there. Are we keeping the same teams from the AFC, or are we adding all 32 teams in the NFL to realign the divisions?
So, it kind of goes where I was going to go. But looking at the map, I think you have to realign the entire NFL. Actually, no, I guess you don't. But looking at the Dolphins, if it was to stay the same, you'd probably go. So yeah, they'll be in the South, be AFC or NFC. I don't care at this point, but you'll be in the South. And if they're going to be in the AFC South in this situation, and the AFC and the NFC are going to stay as is, would you not go Dolphins, Jags, Texans, and Titans? Because those are the 4 teams in close proximity who are all in the AFC.
Right. So that's the gripe. That is the one that makes the most sense currently. That's without me. That's without Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons playing a game of Madden where we just do our own thing. That is the one that actually makes sense that could happen tomorrow in the NFL. The Dolphins play in the AFC South against the Titans, Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans, and Jacksonville Jaguars. That makes the most sense in the AFC South. And then, ironically enough, there's a team that can be moved out of the South. You know what I'm saying? Which is the Colts, Indianapolis Colts. Now, just to, I know you said it's go time Dolphins, but there's a whole gang. There's a gang of teams that could be considered AFC East. Like Baltimore can be an AFC East team considered in the East. They're all the way out East. You know what I'm saying? They're all the way out by Washington, DC. You know what I'm saying? If you're not familiar with the map of the United States. But if you wanted to go a further step and just realign the whole NFL, I think there's, because you said something about the Jets and the Giants can play in the same division. I think there's something to be said about having two New York teams in two different conferences, or else then you're just going to have a conference out west and a conference out east. And I don't think that's what the NFL wanted to go for. That's why you have the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? You have Tampa and as well as the Saints. They're in the NFC South. You see what I'm saying? So you still have Southern teams representing the South, but in two different conferences. And I think that's what the NFL was going for. They wanted representation in both conferences that represented the globe, well, the map. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I understand how teams are in the South division, like Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa, and Carolina. Those are technically the South.
Yeah.
So I understand that 100%, but there's no way on God's green earth that Indianapolis can ever be considered the South.
Yeah. And it's funny. So like the NFL and I want to say all American professional sports don't have relegation and promotion, does it? So if you're in a division, you stay in that division. Like, so as a UK sports fan, our professional sports have promotions and relegations. So take the Premier League, for example. If you finish in the bottom three in the Premier League, you go down a division. So you have a situation where if you take the London teams in football in general, you've got like Arsenal and Tottenham, who are Arsenal is North. No, yeah, they're both North London. Both Arsenal and Tottenham are North London, and when they play, it's called the North London Derby, and it's legit beef. Like it's the battle lines are drawn. We hate each other. It's going to kick off, and they play each other twice a year. Would it be better if they played each other once every few years? So it's like a real like derby, possible, but for entertainment wise, you play each other twice a year. And I think in a realigned NFL, to bring back to NFL, in a realigned NFL, if you chuck the Jets and the Giants in the same division, would it be more of a spectacle? Could you twice a year build up that hatred? Like, it's Jets, it's Giants,
right.
Yeah. But there's also something for every few years, we're going to play each other. It's like, I don't know, it's like in football terms, England v Argentina, where that hatred that goes back to wars. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But because England is in Europe and Argentina is in South America, they only really meet at the World Cup. So it's like every 4 years you might play them, and when you do play them, okay, cool, like it's real history. So yeah, I can understand separating the Giants and the Jets in separate conferences, but I also understand that with my UK hat on, it might be a bit better to have them in the same division. But
have who in the same division?
The Jets and the
Giants. All right, yeah. Which you can have. I feel you, but you said, but go ahead.
So yeah. So we kind of spoke about if the AFC stayed the AFC and NFC stayed the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to realign the whole thing, and this is purely looking at the map, would you go the South Division, be it AFC or NFC, would be the Texans, Saints, Bucks, and Dolphins? Or would you go the Southwest division
Right.
and go Saints, Bucks, Jags, Dolphins, or
So,
Falcons?
bro, here's the thing to your question, because it's crazy how your question lines up. Because there's only one thing that's broke. I don't want to say broken, and I don't want to say just one thing. Is I could only make the gripe for two things. That's Kansas City being in the AFC West and Indianapolis being in the AFC South. And I'm gonna tell you why. We didn't talk about the NFC at all, and I'm gonna bring it up real quick because it's Go Time Dolphins. The NFC North has Green Bay. Like, if you're listening to the audio version, shout out to y'all. Y'all actually are the reason why we're booming. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get our subscribers up on YouTube. Share, like, and subscribe for everybody on YouTube. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate you. But if you look at this map, bro, you could just circle it. You could circle the whole NFC South. Shoop. Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, Detroit. You could circle those 4 teams right there. Am I tripping, Kadeem? I'm not tripping.
No.
You can circle them right there. That is technically the NFC North, and they're in the right division. Let's keep going. NFC South. You got Carolina, you got Atlanta, you got Tampa, you got New Orleans. That's not a big commute, bro. That is fair to put them in the same bunch. That is 100% fair. That is not a massive commute. That's not even a commute at all, if I'm being honest. Then you have the NFC West, and you can kind of circle everybody here too. You got LA, you got Arizona, you got San Fran, and you got all the way up in the top left, Seattle. You can circle them. They're all out west. I'm not making this up. You know what I'm saying? The only team that is out of place, and this is the truth, it's Indianapolis, bro. Y'all boys are not supposed to be in the South. You know what I'm saying? And maybe there's some tradition there that the NFL said when we wanted to make this realignment that we didn't want to break up certain teams like Baltimore Cleveland playing Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and they just added Baltimore there. And I'll be real with you, Kadeem. Adding Baltimore to that division, I know this is a little bit before your time, but it fit perfectly. Like, dang, they're an NFC North team. Like that thing fit really well. You know what I'm saying? Like, they hate each other. It's just all of them fit that division very well. But at the same time, it's an injustice to the geographic of the map when you're talking about the landscape of the NFL. I mean, if we're talking about a NFL realignment, I'm okay with where we are. They didn't mess up that bad, bro. Like, I'm okay with how the NFL is aligned. New Orleans is right there with Atlanta, right there with Tampa. Carolina is like the top. It's not even the top of the South. That's like Carolina is in the middle of the South. It's like the east of the South, but Southeast. But nah, I'm okay with how the NFL is aligned. But taking it back to Go Time Dolphins. If the Dolphins were in the AFC South and Indianapolis was in the AFC, you could put Indianapolis in the AFC North and put Baltimore in the AFC East. That makes sense too.
So if we're so Go Time Dolphins, are we having? I mean, between me and you, so we can move on to the next question. Are we having the AFC South in terms of Dolphins, Jags, Titans, Texans, or are we going with the South in Texans, Saints, Bucks, Dolphins?
Nah, I'm going with Dolphins, Jaguars, Tennessee, Texans. And I'm gonna tell you why. Not every division is like the AFC North, where you have all of these teams in like a 500-mile radius.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen all the way. We're not tripping to where we got to have Jacksonville and Tampa and Atlanta in our division because we're in the same state. Tampa is literally 3.5 hours away from Miami. Jacksonville is 5 hours away from Miami via car. Atlanta is 9 hours away from Miami. Yeah, that's ideal. We don't have to have the ideal division because everybody won't have ideal divisions. But Indianapolis being in the South makes absolute zero sense. And I thought your next question was going to be how well will the Dolphins do in the AFC South?
So,
Is that the next
so
question?
that was going to be the question, but once I figured out whether we're going to discuss them as that South team with the Saints and the Bucks or the South of the AFC, so that's why I wanted to kind of work out what scenario we're going to basically phrase this question on, if that makes sense.
I say just throw us in the South, where we're supposed to be.
Okay, so it's Dolphins, Jags, Titans, Texans.
100%. Because if and before you go ahead with the question, this was an actual thing before. You know how long ago the San Diego moved to LA? Do you know how long ago?
As in the most recent time.
Yeah.
I can, yeah. So I remember working, and so I remember getting my job at my old newspaper and covering the St. Louis Rams when I can't remember the players. There might have been Austin Britton to other people when they came out with a hands up, don't shoot, and that's one of my like most iconic things. So I think the Rams moved maybe 2019, 2020.
Nah, Rams moved before 2019. They moved like 2016.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well, when do you think that? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because so the reason I'm bringing this up because it seems like it was only a year or two ago. Yeah, it seems like the Chargers moved from San Diego to LA like 2 years ago. It's really like 2017 they moved.
Yeah,
is it 2017?
2017. Yeah,
that's crazy, ain't it? That's 5 years ago, Kadeem. Does it seem like 5 years?
No, that's and again, like that's why I remember the move because I was at the Morning Star, my old newspaper. I can't believe that was so long ago. Like I'd been there a year basically. That's mental.
Dang, Kadeem, I knew you 5 years, bro.
Yeah.
Dang, that got me crazy. That's dang. What up, friend?
It's mental. So
hey, y'all notice he did not acknowledge me as a friend, but this man
I did.
He do not want me as a friend, y'all. I'm trying. Go ahead.
Anyway, okay, so this AFC South, Titans, Jags, Dolphins, Texans. It's the 2022 season, so upcoming season. All teams, it's Tannehill, Lawrence, Dolphins, and who's the Texans starting quarterback?
Davis Mills.
Oh snap! Yeah, Davis Mills. Yeah. That division comes down to who wins the tiebreakers between the Dolphins and the Titans. Like,
yeah. What's our record look like if we played those teams twice a year? What does our season look like, Kadeem, if we played in the AFC South this year?
In terms of our win-loss against the AFC South alone, anything other than 5-1 is embarrassing. Like, so basically, it comes down to the same record we should have in the AFC East. We sweep the Jets, sweep the Patriots, tie against the Bills. In this, we sweep the Texans, beat the Jags, and we tie against the Titans. That's what it should be. And being totally honest, this Titans team is good, but that beatdown week 16 or whatever it was shouldn't have happened. So, we give them a game, and even though they were the 1 seed in the AFC, in the nicest possible way, we should sweep the Titans. Like if we play to how we can actually play with the terms of talent we have, that like it'll be a very good game, but I don't
think it's a very good game.
As in, no, like the Titans still have some good players.
No, yeah, it's not a very good. We don't have the Titans this year, do we? We don't even have them this year. Because I wish we did. Because that game ain't looking the same. It's not going to look the same.
Like same way, we can sit here and go, we would like to sweep the Bills, but if the Bills swept us again, we'd be disappointed. But we can see it because both of us kind of have the Bills losing 2 games.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
Bills,
it's likely that the Bills sweep us. I actually do think
yeah.
it's likely, but I'm not going to be shocked if we win one.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like if we get swept by the Bills, it's okay. They're still better than us, but they are legit up there with probably the best team in the NFL. Getting
Yeah.
swept by the Bills when they're the best team in the NFL isn't embarrassing. It's disappointing. It's like, I don't have any older brothers. If your older brother whoops you at every single game, it's not embarrassing. You'll be disappointed, but it's not embarrassing. He's your
Hey, you
older
know what,
brother.
Kadeem? You do kind of have an older brother. I'm kind of your older brother, bro, because I'm gonna beat you in every game we play, bro. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
Do you consider, I wouldn't say betting / gambling a game, but a friendly wager between two friends? Do you consider that a game?
Nah, it depends on what the wager is on.
Okay, because you whoop me in fantasy. I'm not
No,
gonna.
that don't count.
Okay, so yeah. But I'm
Kadeem,
just saying, in
Kadeem,
terms
how
of
about
like,
this, Kadeem? When I come out there, I'm gonna beat you down in soccer. I'm gonna beat you down in football, and we're gonna throw together the Nintendo 64, and I'm gonna smash you in GoldenEye and Mario Kart. That's a butt whooping. That's what a big brother does, and I have to come out there and do that for you.
it's not gonna happen. So, but yeah, I'd be angry and annoyed if in 2022 we got swept by the Titans in the AFC South. I'm like, nah, that can't happen. Like, what are you doing? Like, the biggest worry about the Dolphins in this, fictional version of the AFC South is, would we play down to the Jags and the Texans? That would be my biggest worry. Now, don't get me wrong. You've said it countless times on the podcast. We're beating the Jets for the next 10 years.
9 years.
9 years, yeah.
9 more, because we already did one.
And the way the Texans and the Jags are built, like the Jags are one of those teams which they just have no luck. Like every single thing they do, like, what are you doing? And some of it is they bring it upon themselves. The Texans are going through a gigantic rebuild, and the Dolphins are so far ahead of both those teams in terms of a rebuild. They should always be playing catch up to the Dolphins, while we play catch up to the Titans. And again, play catch up to the Titans because they were the number 1 seed in the AFC, but they are in no way, shape, or form the best team in the AFC. In no way, shape, form. Like, don't even bring that conversation. Like, me and you, we can have petty arguments. We're not having a petty argument over, are the Titans the best team in the AFC? Because the answer is no. Don't even go there. So my record would be 5-1, and I assume yours would be the same, if not 6-0.
Bro, we're sweeping that division. We're sweeping that division. Not only are we sweeping that division, and I think we could kind of wrap up the hypotheticals, and let's be real. I was watching someone on NFL Network. I can't remember the dude's name. My bad, because I want to give him his credit. Well, I want to take the shot at the right person, I should say. He said the Dolphins are going 0-4 in the first 4 games. But he had us winning 10 and going 10-7 on the season. 0-4 the first 4 games. Bro, you know how hurtful that would be if we go 0-4, bro. Like, hey, Sherrod Steve talked me off the ledge, Holmes, if we go 0-4. Straight up.
The podcast would be so down. Like, by week 3, 0-3, we'll be like, oh, we're not doing this again. Like, we had a conversation off air about, getting bigger and better. Come week 3, we're like, this is the end of the show. Like, again, I'm not staying up until 1 a.m, 2, 3 a.m. to record the podcast and get it out. To talk about how the Dolphins are a laughing stock. Like, I'm not doing that. I have a life. I have plans. I have video games to play. I have a son to look after. Like, I'm not doing it. Are you mad? No, I'm not doing it. Dolphins want to mess around and go 0-3. There's no more go time Dolphins. Like, it's never happening. It's not happening.
So as a reminder, The Dolphins have the Patriots. They have. You know what? Let's do this. Fire away. All right, look. You got something else before we're gonna go into bonus time? We're gonna bring the schedule up in the bonus time. You got something else, Kadeem?
Very quickly. There's another hypothetical situation, and this is looking at how the NFL used to be in terms of instead of having 8 divisions, this would be a 6-division league, and in the 6-division league, the Southeast division would be the Falcons, Panthers, Jaguars, Dolphins, Bucks, and what do you think the last team is?
Say that one more time.
So it's the Falcons, Panthers, Jaguars, Dolphins, Bucks, and who do you think the last team is?
You said Jaguars?
Yes.
So it's either Atlanta or Houston.
Say again?
Atlanta or Houston.
This has the Titans.
I mean, that's not. Yeah, that's all right. Like, listen. So, all right, Kadeem. All right. So there's history too. Now I understand. See, here's another thing that I'm not tripping on the NFL about. There's history of the country.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So there's the southern states. You know what I'm saying that made up the Confederacy type stuff. You know what I'm saying, where you know you got the Mason-Dixon and all this other good stuff. So I understand how Tennessee is technically the South. It really is.
Yeah.
And honestly, once you go to Tennessee, Kadeem, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is really the South. You know what I'm saying? So Tennessee, Carolina, Atlanta, New Orleans, Texas, I'm all for it. All of those teams belong in the South somewhere, in the Southern Division, whether it's AFC or NFC, it doesn't matter. They need to be in the South. I can understand how the Dallas got a NFC East, because if you look at it, right up the map is Missouri. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Kansas City got AFC West. So they're the furthest team. I mean, look how many football teams are out west. There's not that many. You know what I'm saying? So just for the geographics, like, you got to have some teams in the middle of the state, in the middle of the country, that make up a west or an east. But in no way, shape, or form do you have to have a team that's in the north. There's no way that a team in the north has to play in the south, and vice versa.
Or a team in the south and the east.
Exactly. And for those who are, again, listening to the audio version before y'all go to work and riding on the way to work or riding home on the way from work, there's the Seahawks, 49ers, Chargers, Rams, Raiders, Arizona. That's 6 teams. That is it. There's only 6 teams on the west side of the country. That's it. So when you get the Broncos in the AFC West, and because they're in the middle of the country, and Kansas City in the AFC West because they're in the middle of the country, or Dallas in the NFC East because they're in the middle of the country, that's how you get that. But under no circumstances should Green Bay or Chicago or Detroit play in the NFC South. And that's in essence what Indianapolis is in the NFL for the AFC. So yeah, man, y'all just got a little geography lesson here on Go Time Dolphins. We're about to go into bonus time. We're gonna bring up the Dolphin schedule, and we're gonna talk about going. We're not talking about going 0-4, but the likelihood that the Dolphins start off 0-4, because it's not gonna happen. Break us down. You know, I was about to say break us down, Kadeem. That's what they say in the huddle, like, send us home, break us down, Kadeem. But
I got it probably because with that one guy, I don't even pay attention. So it's like
1, 2, 3, fins on me.
Oh wait, hold on, wait. Game ball. Who's the game ball going to?
Break us down. Whoa, man. Together. All right, look, man. Y'all know what time it is. Whew. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Break.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time.
Yeah, so Kadeem, we going 0-4. Patriots, Baltimore, Buffalo, Bengals.
The only way we got 0-4. The only way we got 0. Okay, there's two ways we got 0-4. The first is the Dolphins mess around and lose to the Patriots. Two is 3-0 against the Patriots. You don't mess around and lose to the Patriots. That's one thing we don't do. One thing Tua doesn't do is lose to the Patriots. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I guess, would be an injury. And that's an injury to Tua. To me, those are the only... The second scenario is the acceptable way to lose, to go 0-4.
Man, listen, barring no injuries, Kadeem.
Injuries.
The whole other team is healthy. The Dolphins are healthy.
Under no circumstances should the Dolphins go 0-4. Under none whatsoever. There's an argument to be made on another episode, which is, could the Dolphins start 1-3? I think there's an argument to be made going by the teams we've got in the first 4 weeks. Could the Dolphins go 1-3? But to me, that's another episode. But there is no way the Dolphins go 0-4. And again, that's what I said. If it happens, come week 3, me and you having a serious conversation about the future of Go Time Dolphins this season.
Well, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. The Bengals falling off the map this year. It's not happening. Bengals ain't the Bengals no more. That's not a thing. They're not. Yeah, it's cool. You snuck up on everybody. Cool. Hats off to you. I'm not a hater. We're gonna beat the Bengals, bro. We're gonna sweep the Patriots. And I should have just started with the Patriots. We're gonna sweep the Patriots. Baltimore is gonna give us a run for the money. Okay, that could go either way. And I'm not here to make a whole new what we're gonna do in the season. But 0-4. I can see how someone came. No, I can't see how someone came over 0-4. No, y'all, because y'all trying us, bro. Put some respect on our name, man. Like, put some respect on our name, bro. Like 0-4. When the last time the Patriots beat us? 0-4, bro. Come on, man. So look about this Buffalo thing, Kadeem. I can see Buffalo beating us twice. The Dolphins still going 13-4, and then losing to Buffalo again in the playoffs. Like the Buffalo handed us 3 losses, and we went 14-3. That's crazy, bro. That's big brother syndrome. We can't do that, bro. We have to put our foot down. Do we have to win one of these Buffalo games? Not necessarily, but it would be nice if we could beat Buffalo once. So when we play them in the AFC Championship, they're not. Oh, when the last time the Dolphins beat, bro? The Dolphins haven't beat Buffalo in like 4 years. It's at least 4 years.
It's weird as well because even like the Patriots in their cheating heyday, we still beat the Patriots.
Yeah,
like the Patriots were the big brother, but they were the big brothers who they messed around and got kicked in the nuts and like were jumping over them saying in your face. Like we can't we could like again. Do you know like in the Simpsons and cartoons where the bully has like the other guy's like hand in the head and the guy just going like this and you can't get near them. Right now, that's us in Buffalo. They're just there, hands out, and we're just and can't get near them. Like,
but we always beat the Patriots. Even when the Patriots were the Patriots, we still beat them all the time.
Yeah,
we always beat them, bro. And I'm just saying, this is from off of my memory. I know when 40 Acres and a Hellcat, Myles Gaskin came to this podcast, he said he's never beat Buffalo. He hasn't beat Buffalo yet. So that tells me we haven't beat them in 3 years, minimum 3 years. So I'm gonna just go back to 4 years, and I'm thinking we beat them 4 years ago, once maybe. I think StatCheck Fact Check is checking it out right now. But I can see a world where the Dolphins go 14-3, and those 3 losses are 2 Buffalo losses and a loss to the Chargers. Because I honestly don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to take the young Bucks and be a powerhouse. Do I fear Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, I do. Do I fear the Packers right now? No, I don't. I think Rodgers can shake something, but I'm not like, man, we got to see Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. No, not at all. Not even a little bit. So I think the Bengals are going to regress, and I think the Packers are going to regress. Can the Packers still win the AFC North? NFC North? Yeah, they could win the NFC North, but we don't play in the NFC North. So that one time when the Packers fly down to South Beach after playing in sub-zero temperatures in Lambeau Field for a month, and they come to the heat and the humidity of Miami, we're going to win that game, I think. So I could see the Dolphins going 14-3. Shout out to Liz Meyer. 14-3, 2 losses to Buffalo, 1 loss to the Chargers. Then but with that example, I can also see Buffalo just sweeping us. Like, yo, we played y'all 3 times, make it to the AFC Championship, and now we got to play Buffalo. For morale's sake, it would be nice if we get one of these Buffalo wins, one of these splits. If we could split Buffalo during the regular season, so we could play them in the playoffs and be like, we're not afraid of you.
So let's get us back to where we were. I'm looking, before we move on to the verses quickly at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dolphins Bills, 116 meetings. The Dolphins currently lead 61-54 to 1. So the Dolphins are still in a healthy position in terms of,
And one, you mean and one?
And one,
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Looking at the breakdown of wins and losses in terms of like 60, 70, blah, blah, blah. In the 60s, the Bills were 4-3 over the Dolphins. There was also a tie in the 60s. In the 70s, the Dolphins went 20-0 against the Bills. Light work. In the 80s,
and so you telling me we treated the Bills like the Jets back in the day?
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Shout out to Jet fans, y'all are clowns.
In the 80s, the Dolphins went 11-9, and that was the last time the Dolphins basically won a series in a decade. The 1980s. The 1990s, the Bills won 15-9. In the 2000s, it was a tie, 10-10. In the 2010s, it was Bills 12, Dolphins 8. And the last time the Dolphins beat the Bills was a 21-17 victory in 2018.
6 years ago. Well, 5 years ago. I guess it was 6, depending on where it lands on the calendar. 6 seasons ago. How about that?
And it's funny. So, like, I believe I think that might have been Josh Allen's only loss to the Dolphins as well.
Hold on, Kadeem. Josh Allen ain't never lose to the Dolphins. Oh, Josh Allen did lose to the Dolphins. Josh Allen, you know what? We beat Josh Allen his rookie year. It couldn't have been 6 seasons ago. Was that 6? Josh Allen been in the league 6 years, 5 years? So I guess he's been in the league 5 years. So look, all right. I remember beating Josh Allen. Remember what happened? I'm gonna tell you what happened, Kadeem. It was the last play of the game. Josh Allen was scrambling around in the pocket. They were like 40 yards away, and this cannon of an arm that everyone says Josh Allen had, he threw a deep bomb to former Miami Dolphin Charles Clay. Charles Clay was in the end zone, wide open. When I say wide open, There was no Dolphin around him for at least 15 yards. He was standing there in the end zone, signaling a SOS, like, yo, I'm open. And Josh Allen ended up throwing the ball 10 yards short. Shout out to the cannon of an arm that everyone wants to compare Tua to Josh Allen for, or with, or whatever. He still ended up losing to the Dolphins that day with his cannon. That was the last time we beat the Dolphins. So I guess that was 5 seasons ago.
It's funny looking at the teams that day. So Tannehill. Actually, know what? No, let's do this properly. So we can go through this together. And we might have to leave verses because at this point we're just talking.
Hey, you know what? I was versus, so we could throw it up next time. We could talk about it next time. So we're bringing up the rosters for that game. Kalen Ballage, Frank Gore, Brandon Bolden, Ryan Tannehill, Kenyon Drake. Those are everyone who contributed in rushing that game. Who we got in receivers? The Lemon, Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, Bryce Butler, Kenyon Drake, Frank Gore, Nick O'Leary, Isaiah Ford. Those are the receivers that contributed in receiving yards that game. Dolphins defense, Kiko Alonso, Raekwon McMillan, Rashad Jones, Minka Fitzpatrick, Bobby McCain, Xavier Howard, TJ McDonald. Shout out to my dog, TJ McDonald. Robert Quinn, Cameron Wake, Andre Brantz, Devon Gottschall, Charles Harris. You heard that? Did you hear that, Kadeem?
Yep.
Something just bust. Sylvester Williams, Jerome Baker, Torrey McTire. All right, we keep going. What was
the Bills?
The Bills defense? The Bills team. Josh Allen, LaShawn McCoy, Chris Ivory, Marcus Murphy. In receiving, Zay Jones, Isaiah McKenzie, Patrick DeMarco, Robert Foster, Kelvin Benjamin, LaShawn McCoy, Devontae Thompson, Charles Clay, former Miami Dolphin. The defense, Matt Milano, Jordan Poyer, basically the same defense they got now. Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Levi Wallace, Jordan Phillips, Trent Murphy, Star Latulele. Who are the notables? Tremaine Edmonds,
Alexander.
Yeah, I mean,
Hughes, Carl Williams. Yeah,
Lawson. Yeah, man. So I remember that game, Kadeem. I remember that game. That was Adam Gase, and that's exactly what happened. It was the last play of the game. Charles Clay was wide open, and he had to run back for the ball, and Josh Allen's underthrew him. Y'all want to talk about an underthrow? How about that?
Again, before we sign up officially, oh snap! Again, Charlie.
I broke us down last time. You broke us down this time.
Good performance today, guys. We played well in all 3 phases. Offense done your thing, defense done your thing, special team well done. Game ball today. Game ball's gonna go to Bert for the phone call before the game, which pumped us up. But thanks for that. Go time on 3. 1, 2, 3, go time.